Hello, welcome back to Car Fix, everyone. We are going to be today talking about my year with solar and is it worth it, rundown of the costs, payback times, what I've generated, what I've earned in export, and the whole rundown of the costs and if a year of solar is worth it or if solar is worth it at all. So as you can see from the screen above here, it has had a running time of 388 days, so just over 1 full year. I've produced basically 3.99 megawatts and sent back to the grid 1.13 megawatts. So that's a rundown of what's been generated. And if you don't know, go back and watch a different video. But I have 8 panels on my roof, which is a 3.6 kilowatt system with a 5 kilowatt battery and a 3.6 kilowatt inverter. And the total cost of the install was £6,300 in the middle of April last year. So let's get straight into some numbers. So here's just today's generation on my app, and red is grid and blue is solar. And obviously I can change parameters here and show battery power and when it was used, when it was charged, you see, but we're not getting into that today. Here is a quick rundown of what the system is producing at this very second, which is 3.2 kilowatts in from the solar. I'm exporting 2.7 kilowatts back to the grid. My battery's at 98%, and my house is currently consuming 290 watts. So as you can see, I'm sending a nice amount back to the grid. And here is just data based on every day of this month. If I go to year totals, you can see in 2024, total production was 2.4 megawatts, used 4.2. And this year so far produced 1.49 and used 2.3. So as you can see, it doesn't cover the entirety of my electricity usage. I live in a house, me, my wife, 2 kids, 30s detached house. It does not cover our entire usage, and we couldn't fit any more panels on the roof. I've got as many panels, which is 8, on my roof as possible because I have dormer windows, whatever you call them. I can't remember now. Frigging the rounded windows. It'll come to me, but you know what I mean. So you, because of the triangle at the top of the roof, you can't fit panels around that because of shading and obviously space. So 8 is the most I could use, but that is what I wanted to say straight away, that it doesn't cover our entire usage. So we do still have to pay for some electricity, which is what I will get onto now on my Octopus app. So as you can see here, this is 2024. We used £626.28 of electricity and exported almost 70. And so far this year, £344 used and 109 exported. Obviously, March, April and May so far have been very good for solar this year. It's been very dry, very sunny. So I'm doing a lot of exportation at the moment, which is very nice for the system. There's obviously standing charge on top of that, so I will be transparent with that. If you show standing charge, it obviously puts the amount up, but I've got a little table here I'll bring up in a minute to break down the costs. The 2 tariffs I've been on within this year is nearly all of last year, actually all of last year, and moving into January this year I was on Octopus Agile. And since February this year, you can see these pink patches on the top here is where I moved to Octopus Go. So I'm guaranteed 8.5 pence per kilowatt hour electricity overnight to charge the battery, which is in effect allowing me to export more while it's sunny. And I currently get 15p for export. So I'm buying 8.5 and exporting at 15. But this is all getting into the details of how to run your system efficiently. And that's not what this video is about. So the next slide I'm going to get up now is a little Excel sheet with some numbers on that will show you the breakdown of the costs without standing charge and compared to my old electricity bill before solar. So here is the Excel spreadsheet, and in the red here, This amount here is what I used to pay for 12 months of electricity, and electricity only, not gas. I was paying £180 a month just for electricity, which would have been £2,160 per year on electricity alone. So the next box is cost with no standing charge and cost with standing charge. So that is the full year added together, £971 and 1229, and the difference. So I've in effect paid £258 worth of standing charge. The row here is taking off the export. So I've exported in total £178.62. So in effect, my electricity costs, if we do it including standing charge, because that's probably the fair way of doing it, because everyone's going to pay a standing charge regardless. So I would have paid that. I'm now paying that. It is a difference of £1,108.71 I'm saving. So £1,108.71 I have saved on electricity costs alone by installing solar. And if you want to take standing charge out of it, because everybody pays a standing charge anyway, I would have saved £1,367. So what does that do for a payback time? So here I've got a calculated payback time. So if we're taking it with standing charge, it will mean I will have paid back my solar in 5 years, 6 months. And without standing charge, 4 years, 6 months. So if this electricity cost and rates carry on for the next 5 years, obviously these things can change. Tariffs can change. If electricity prices keep increasing and increasing, and this price goes up, obviously it's faster. But I'm looking at an approximately a 5 year payback time on my solar. So I'm a year in, so I've got 4 years left to pay back. And then basically every year from that, if you base it on these figures here, it's basically I'm getting £1,000 worth of electricity for free. Do I think solar is a great idea for anyone? Yes, is the answer. There's a lot of myths out there. People don't think it works, and I think there's too many people who were put off by the old fit tariffs where somebody comes and puts a bodge job in and takes all the export from you. There's a couple of caveats to making solar work properly and getting these type of results. One, find the cheapest install that you can by the most reputable company you can. The cheaper the install at the start of your install, the less time it takes to pay it back. But that doesn't mean cut corners on the installer. Do research on your installer and take the cheapest option you can that you believe is the right installer for you. That's point one. Point two, manage your tariffs. Sometimes Agile will be better. Sometimes Intelligent Go will be better. Sometimes going to Eon or Tomato will be better. If you stay on a variable rate without a good export rate, without overnight rates, you will not get results like this. There is some management to this. As I say, I'm now on Octopus Go at 8.5p per kilowatt overnight, and I think it's 27p in the day. So I'm paying 8.5p to charge my battery, and then all day while it's sunny, I'm exporting at 15. Then I might have a few hours in the evening where I have to pay the full price. You need to manage your tariffs, whatever provider you go with. Third and lastly, I would absolutely 100% advise getting pigeon proofing, bird proofing on your roof. Even if you've got no pigeons in the area, even if you think you don't need it, even if the installer says they install the panels so close to your roof they can't get under, I am telling you now, they get under. So you need it. 100% Do not scrimp on getting it, because you will end up with someone having to come back and put it on your roof. I'm guaranteeing it now. So that is where I want to really leave this video. It wants to be a quick informational video. Do I think solar is worth it? 100%. Or maybe one more point actually that I've just thought of. Would I get a loan to pay for solar? That is a question you would have to figure out yourself, because if you were getting a £5,000-10,000 loan on a credit card or a loan, you'd obviously be paying that off, which eats into the profit or the payback time, because you'd be paying for the solar install on credit. I was lucky enough to have the money, the savings, however I got the money, it's not really relevant, to pay for this system up front. So I'm not paying an electricity bill and paying a loan, a credit card or whatever to pay for this. So there's a few tips there. One is cheapest install you can get by the most reliable installer. Always get pigeon protection. Always make sure you're on the right tariff for you at that time. Do not be precious about swapping and changing providers or tariffs within providers. And you make a decision whether you should be getting a loan to get solar. In my opinion, the best way to do it is save for it first and then install it, rather than paying interest on a loan monthly to have it installed. If you've got any questions about the system, if you've got any more questions about savings or in-depth questions about how to install or what you would do financially or what you should do with your own tariffs, drop it in the comments. But here, as you can see, this has worked out great for me. I got a reliable, cheap install. I'm saving over £1,000 a year, which will mean in 5 years my solar is paid for, and this is free money for me. Please do your research. Please look into it properly. Please get a reputable installer. And if you have the money and if you want to go solar, I would absolutely 100% go for it. And I will chat to you on the next video. Peace out. Like, favorite, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.